Hello everybody, welcome to the Red Devil Experience. How you all doing? We have the breaking news that Rúben Amorim has been confirmed as the new Manchester United manager. I mean, what a 24 hours it has been for Manchester United. Exciting breaking news. We have the confirmation from Fabrizio Romano and others tagging in after Fabrizio has broken it. We're going to pull it up on your screen. We're going to break it down. We're going to get into a good discussion about what this means for Manchester United going forward, the possibilities under Rúben Amorim, and what this really means. As a new era. It is a new era. It is a new dawn. It is a new way that we are going to move forward. And we're going to discuss what Ineos has done, the actions that they have taken, and how quick they really have done it. I mean, we got to really give them credit for everything that has gone on over the past 24 hours. So we're going to get all into that. Please smash the like button for me if you can, because it helps the channel grow and we greatly appreciate it. So if you could smash the like button for me, do that. If you're watching this show after it aired, get involved in the comments down below. Give us your thoughts, give us your opinions. We'll bring it up on the next show. We'll get involved in the comments. And if you're not a subscriber and you want to join our community, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when we go live and you never miss a show, so you can always be involved. But obviously, the big breaking news that everybody is talking about right now is Rúben Amorim has been confirmed as Manchester United manager. It's been a whirlwind 24 hours. This is Fabrizio Romano saying Manchester United are set to pay 10 million euros exit clause for Rúben Amorim to become new manager. Here we go. Sporting confirm formal communication received from Manchester United for Amorim to be appointed. Amorim has already said yes to Man United proposal and project. And we have the follow-ups with that is that Sporting has put out their own statement, their own form of communication, saying that to the Portuguese Security Market Commission, making this as official as it possibly can, saying Manchester United has expressed an interest in hiring coach Rúben Amorim with the board of directors. Sporting SAD referring to the terms and conditions set out in the employment contract in force between the company and the coach, specifically the respective termination clause and the amount of euro in 10 million. Manchester United has expressed an interest in paying Sporting SAD the amount of the aforementioned clause. Now that might translate a little bit funny. It's because they put it out in Portuguese and it was translated into English, so it might sound a little bit like a mumbo jumbo, but that is official communication from Sporting Lisbon. And Sporting Lisbon have put that out in official ways, so you can see that if you want to go check it out in Portuguese or whatever you may like. Now, the other follow-ups is, we spoke about yesterday that, there was the possibility that Manchester United were looking to get Rúben Amorim by the end of the week. It wasn't really expected to happen today. Obviously, we've got the here we go, but we haven't gotten the actual official announcement and confirmation from Manchester United. All the stuff that come with the signing, the pictures, the signing of the contract and all that stuff. That stuff hasn't actually happened yet. It is going to happen. But the deal is done and dusted. Like, it is 100% confirmed. There is not going to be any, turnaround. There is nothing that is going to jump out and surprise us. There's going to be no breakdown in this deal. This deal has happened. This deal is done. Now, yesterday it was discussed that, United were hopeful to get it done by the end of the week, which means that Ruud van Nistelrooy would be in charge for the Leicester City match tomorrow in the Carabao Cup, and that he would be in charge for the Chelsea match on the weekend. But there may be a possibility, according to some of the journalists, that the possibility of Rúben Amorim being in charge against Chelsea on Sunday has not been ruled out. It's not a given, but if all goes to plan, it's possible still. So it really depends on, what is going to go down with how long it's going to take to actually officially confirm, the signing with the contracts and stuff like that. We also have a lot of more breaking news that's coming out right now as we're going live that's not going to pop up on the screen. So once we go through these, stick with us because we're going to cover that as well. We're going to cover it in real time. So stick with us. We have some of our lovely chat members have joined us. Lyle is in here. Richard is in here. How you guys feeling? I'm through the roof. I'm energized. I'm ready to go. I'm excited. I'm over the moon that this deal has happened in the way it's happened, the quickness that it has happened. It's brung an injection of positivity back into the club. We can look at our season a little bit more positively now. We can be a little bit more positive with Manchester United, which is very important because we were in a very dark and very negative place. And I'm very, very excited, and I'm super happy with Ineos. I think Ineos, they deserve a lot of credit for what they've done. They certainly took a little bit of their time. I think, in retrospect and in hindsight, I think they did the right thing, trying to be as patient as possible. But Sunday was the straw that broke the camel's back, and it was time to move, and it was time to act. And when they decided to move, they've acted swiftly, they've acted ruthlessly. To go get a manager from a team in the middle of the season, as somebody as regarded as this guy, who is a very young manager, but he is highly sought after. He is somebody that a lot of big teams were looking at. He is a very, very good manager in terms of what he has done at Sporting, and compared to, other teams and other leagues in Europe, his record is very, very good. Obviously, we got to see how that's going to translate to United. United has its own problems, and we have a lot of things that we have to work on. But to go out in the manner, to do the deal in the quickness that they did it, to pretty much put out a statement and say, yeah, we were shit under Erik ten Hag, we weren't doing good, but that's not stopping us. We're not giving up on what we want to do. We have a plan. We want to accomplish things. We want Manchester United back at the top, and they've shown it through the actions that they have taken over the past 24 hours. I mean, they sacked the manager yesterday. They sacked Erik ten Hag yesterday. And within 5 hours, it was already spoken that this Rúben Amorim deal was pretty much going to be done sooner rather than later. And within the 24-hour period, Rúben Amorim is our new manager. I mean, it's absolutely insane. The difference, I think that's where you can see the real difference between Ineos, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Omar Barada. Like, this is the most realistic hierarchy we've ever had since Sir Alex Ferguson and co left the club, and the Manchester United ripped it up and ripped it to shreds and tried to start over. This is the closest thing we've got. So whether it's successful or not, whether you like them or not, it is the realest thing we've got to an actual functioning football hierarchy, because they are moving like a real club. They are moving like a club that means business, like a club that wants to achieve things. So, I'm very, very over the moon. And Richard's saying he's very excited. Lyle's in here, he's saying he's pumped. Lyle's saying the rebuild officially starts tomorrow, and I think we can say that. I think now we can actually really say that, Manchester United is, for the most part, barring some players, but we got to deal with them in the summer. Maybe a couple in January. January is tough, though. But you still got to try. And I expect Ineos to try, and I expect Ineos to make some type of moves. I don't expect them to be, sitting on their hands in January. But it's very hard to do the amount of work and the amount of things we really need to do in January. But and in terms of the manager, the rebuild really starts now. I mean, the hierarchy is in place. They are in year one. We have a young, exciting manager. He is going to be in year one. He is going to bring a modern style of football, a modern style of playing, something that Manchester United haven't had. And I hope he is able to instill his football identity, his philosophy into Manchester United, because that's what we've needed. We haven't had an identity, we haven't had a philosophy, and if we have had one, it hasn't been a good one. It hasn't been a modern one. We need that at Manchester United. And I think this guy, being young, I think he can relate to the players. I think, the connections that at Sporting with the youth, what he's done with the youth there, Sporting always bringing in youth, the connection to Manchester United and youth, I think it ticks a lot of boxes. I think this guy ticks a lot of boxes. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Lyle. I think that the rebuild officially starts tomorrow. It obviously has already started, but with this manager in place, them picking their own guy, I think, we're basically, I would say 75% we're pretty much on page. I think there's some of the players that still need to be moved on. Some of the players need to, you know, be moved on from this club, but we can only deal with them when the time comes. So we're gonna have to use them for now. And when we get to the summer, we make more moves to get them out and get the ones that belong at Manchester United. As Manchester United supporters, we need to support and back our manager and club. And we always do. And I think we do. And I think a lot of the times, right? I think a lot of the times, there's pure examples of United fans out there backing the club, and backing the players, even when they don't deserve it. Even when they don't deserve it, you would say, based off of the performance of what they're showing us on the pitch. We've done it, but again, I would say the sentiment of they got to show us something. We will back them. We will back this, especially, since this is the beginning. We will give time. We will be patient. We will, be behind this manager and what he's going to try and bring. But, they got at some point, one way or another, whether it's 6 months, a year in, there has to be something concrete that you can give us that we can latch on to, then go, okay, we understand there's problems, but we see what you're doing here, and we believe in that. We believe in you. It aligns with what we want. It aligns with what we think is going to be successful for the club. We need that. 343 wingers are ready to go. Yes, so we have more updates. Let's get into the updates. Because we have a lot more updates. I don't know how that snuck in. Oh, I got rid of the text. Sorry about that. So this is coming from United Muppeteers. United Muppeteers, of course, obviously being one of the most credible sources for Manchester United. United Muppeteers has just put out saying expectation is for individuals from Manchester United to be present in Portugal this evening to wrap up the details of Amorim's appointment. So, that might be Jason Wilcox or Omar Barada or some other people. They will be in Portugal. Sporting do have a match today. They have to play one of the Portuguese Cups in a match tonight. So it will be Rúben Amorim's last match as a Sporting manager. I think he's going to manage it and say his goodbye. And then after the match and after all that stuff is over, they will get down to the details, the nitty gritty, the fine details, get that, sorted out and basically be ready to go with an official confirmation statement, pictures, and all that lot. Sadiq is here. Sadiq is saying, great news, bud, and agreed. We need something positive and concrete at our club. I mean, you need it everywhere. You need it everywhere. So, it is absolutely fantastic news. I'm through the roof. I was kind of expecting it to, I was expecting news to come out today, but I wasn't expecting the deal to basically be confirmed today. I thought it, it would happen in the next couple days, over the next couple days, but it's been a whirlwind 24 hours at Manchester United. The life of a Manchester United fan. It could kill you. It could, it could make you happy as like you've won the lottery. And it's insane. It's insane. So, but we also have more updates that the final details of the transfer of Rúben Amorim to Manchester United will be clarified after Sporting's match against Nacional this evening. The transfer is expected to be fully completed and announced this week, and that is coming from Plenty Goal. Following that update, Rúben Amorim will be Manchester United's youngest manager in Premier League history. He is 39 years of age, which is very, very good. And I think, we spoke about this yesterday, and I think that's how he fits the project. It's one of the things that he fits the project going on at Ineos. He's a young manager. He's exciting. He has potential to become an even better manager. He's a potential to, he already has some success. He already has some experience in the, not in the Premier League, in the Champions League, in Europe. He's won trophies where he's been. And he plays a modern style of football, but he's also a young manager. He has a long career ahead of him, as long as he wants it to be. And I think that fits the bill of what is going on at Manchester United under Ineos. Look at some of the players we've signed. They're around the age of that they can be with us for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Rúben Amorim can be one like this as well. Because he is 39 years old, and if he does a good job, he can be around for as long as he wants to be and as long as we want him to be. So yeah, I think he fits. I think he ticks as many boxes as you could probably come up with, for what a Manchester United manager, or what the next Manchester United manager kind of needed for this project specifically as well. So yeah, and I'm not too fond and I'm not too big of so many statistics, but we do take a look at them and we do, kind of go over them and then maybe have a good discussion around them. But somebody put this out, and basically, Europe's top six leagues since the start. And they're comparing Rúben Amorim's Sporting to, all the top teams around Europe. And Rúben Amorim's Sporting have the most wins. He's got 38 wins since the start of the 23-24 season, which would be last season, of course, going into this season. Sporting's got 38, Barca and Madrid have 36, Manchester City have 35. Sporting has the most goals. They've scored 126 goals over this time. Bayern have scored 123. Barcelona and Manchester City have scored 116. The most points accumulated over that time: Real Madrid 119, Sporting 117, Barcelona 115. And the most clean sheets, they've come in third in this one and not first, but Real Madrid with 25, Inter and Juventus with 24, and Sporting 23, and they put Rúben Amorim with a brain emoji. And listen, obviously, the Portuguese league is not the English league. I mean, we've kind of seen that something similar with Erik ten Hag, and what he's done in Ajax. And his record there, and then what happened when he came to the Premier League. But I think it's still an important thing to kind of look at, and it's an important thing to kind of take into consideration, not because it means it's going to be a guaranteed instant success, but because I seen a couple people, they're not too familiar with the Portuguese league. They're not too familiar with this man. They haven't really watched Sporting. They don't really know what he's, what's going on there. I sent a message to a friend the other day, basically saying that this was happening, in the group chat. And he's a supposed United fan. I don't think he's as big as a United fan as us. But he does watch the games, and he replied with, "He's mid, but I'm here for it." And I'm like, come on, man. Like, he's not mid. He's not mid. He's not mid. Like, he is a young, exciting prospect. One that was highly coveted by a lot of top teams. I mean, Liverpool was trying to sign him. Manchester City were looking at him to replace Pep Guardiola, amongst other top clubs. He is a young guy. He's fairly new in his career. He has a lot of potential to grow and to become even a bigger and better manager. And he's done some very, very good things already. And his style of play and his philosophies are very, very, already very, very good. So, Lyle saying we have to be the most exciting club in the world, good and bad. What a roller coaster ride. I mean, I think we do. I don't know. Sometimes I do feel like, you ever hear people say that we might be a social experiment? I think we, sometimes I do buy into that, and I think we have to be some sort of a social experiment, because to have the lows of the lows that we have, and then to get some of the highs of the highs that we get, it's almost like they're doing some psychological test on us. And it's that's you being used for other things in life and the world. I mean, just the other day we were the whole club, I mean, the whole fan base was pretty much depressed. The fan base was angry. The fan base was disillusioned with the way the club was going, with how our season was looking. Nobody was happy in any capacity, in any way. And we pretty much felt like we were almost giving up on the season. We were almost pretty much giving up, on the team, on the players. And just like that, it's been, nipped in the butt. It's been dealt with, and we've already moved on, and now we already have a new era coming to Manchester United this week. It will be starting. I mean, it is sort of amazing the way things can happen like that. Fun fact, Ruben came up against Christian Eriksen when Spurs played Benfica, and also played with Lindelof at Benfica. He did. I seen some of the pictures. I did see some of the pictures. He did play, with and against them. And Richard saying the other thing is Amorim was an interim for Jose while he was at United. Well, he did come to United and have some sort of interim experience. He did. I did see that picture as well yesterday. Somebody pointed it out. So he did spend a little bit of time at Manchester United in one way or another. And I guess he liked, the aura of the club. Even though per se that we've kind of lost our way over the past few years. Um, well, several years, and in fact, but I think the allure of Manchester United is always there for the history and the greatness in which we've done things, and albeit our past in the past 11 years hasn't been great. I mean, we are still Manchester United somewhere at the end of the day, and one day, we will return. And I've seen a lot of people that I know, especially the Liverpool fans, basically taking the piss out of Ten Hag yesterday because of course he got sacked. They put up that quote where he said where he said errors come to an end, and that he respects Klopp and Pep Guardiola and Liverpool and City, but errors come to an end. And I never understood why they really take the piss out of that, because I think he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Like, errors do come to the end. I don't give a shit what happened to him, and I don't care, what that means. I don't know why people look at it in a way like he basically said like he was coming there to end it. Like, he's not wrong. Like, they do end. Like, Klopp's era at Liverpool is over. Klopp is not there anymore. There's not a Klopp era. Now it is Arne Slot era. And Liverpool couldn't win nothing, and they weren't ever winning anything when Ferguson was around. And that was a different era. Like, these eras do come to an end, regardless of whatever people. I don't understand these people, but yeah, it's always been very confusing to me. I guess they kind of use it as a joke, but I think they read into it certainly a wrong way. So, but guess what? As much as they might have enjoyed the Ten Hag era, we have a Rúben Amorim era now. So eras do come to an end, and we have a new era here. And we will be, I think, a much better team. And also, I gotta point out, and we're gonna get more to the news, because this news, I'm seeing the news is just coming up on my timeline. And Lines is in here. Lines has joined us. Has he signed on the dotted line yet? So that part has not actually happened, but pretty much, this deal has been confirmed. This is from Fabrizio Romano. He's given the here we go. It's ready to go. Line, that stuff is going to come. He has to manage a match tonight. It is his last match as Sporting manager, so he's going to manage the match. He's going to say goodbye to Sporting, to his players, and the fans and everything. And after the match is over, our officials are going to be in Portugal. They are going to be there to finalize the actual details, like, not the details, the final, the final confirmation of the deal, like get the the signature and all that stuff. And all the nitty-gritty details. But in the main thing, it's done. It's done. He is our manager. He's coming. It will be announced in the next day, two, or whatever it is. There is a hope that he can actually become and be in charge for the Chelsea match, which will be very, very exciting. But we have more news. So let me get to the news that's coming out. Literally, it's coming out this second. It has not been covered by anybody else. Anybody else that's covering this, they are doing their their shows, whatever, but they are not covering this news that is literally breaking right now at this second. So let's go over it together. Let me minimize this so I could see the chat at the same time so we could talk. So potentially Chelsea then. Yes, there is a potential for Chelsea. I know yesterday we spoke about the fact that United were hopeful that they could get it done by the end of the week. Which would mean that Ruud would be in charge for Chelsea, and then Amorim would take over. But now it is being reported by the likes of like Ben Jacobs and stuff like that that it has not been ruled out, but is yet to be seen. We have to see how long it's going to take to officially like just get everything sorted, the paperwork and all that stuff, and all the presentation and all that stuff. So so the following news that we got from the last update that we put out is pretty much that Omar Barada and Dan Ashworth are currently in Lisbon for Rúben Amorim after a visit last week. So they did meet with him last week. So they're gonna finalize the deal, of course. Sorry, because I follow so many aggregators that a lot of this gets regurgitated, so I don't want to repeat myself. I got to read through the news. Manchester United have triggered the 8.3 million release clause for Rúben Amorim. That's coming from the Times Sport about 23 minutes ago. They've posted this. So we are paying 8.3 million pounds, which I think is, a good fee compared to the fact that he had a clause that he could have costed up to 16.6 million. But he had a special clause that for big clubs like Manchester United, like the likes of Real Madrid and stuff like that, that it would only be 8.3 million and not 16.6 million. We have where are these other updates? New Manchester City director of football Hugo Viana wanted to take Rúben Amorim to City in 2026, but Amorim won't wait. So, he was a Manchester City target, and here's the thing, like Manchester City are getting or if they haven't gotten already, I mean, he is going in there. His name is Hugo Viana. He is, he was the director of football at Sporting Lisbon. He is taking over the director of football at Manchester City. And this is why Rúben Amorim was basically the top candidate to replace Pep Guardiola. So again, Ineos have gone in and they've acted swiftly, and they go, you know what? No, City, you're not getting one of the young top prospects in managers. After you just had Pep Guardiola for how many years you've had, you're not getting this guy. We're getting him. We're taking him. We've gone and hijacked their guy pretty much. And he didn't want to wait till 2026. We made an offer now, and this is why you gotta move. This is why you gotta act. This is why you gotta be ruthless. You gotta be vigilant in making your moves. The old United under Richard Arnold and co, and Ed Woodward and co, they would have sat on their ass and sat around for 4 to 5 months until the end of the season. They would have left Ruud in charge. They probably, if Ruud did a good job, they might have even given it to Ruud again. V2 Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And then if they didn't, they would have had to battle it out with the possibility of maybe Guardiola leaves, because nobody knows if he's leaving or not. And the interest would have been high in Amorim, and we probably wouldn't have been able to get him if we wanted him, if he was our top candidate. So, this is why you need a hierarchy that knows how to move. And we are definitely certainly moving. I'm just trying to find the other updates, because there's been other updates. All right, here we go. So the running joke outside the Sporting Stadium is that fans will hitch a lift to the airport to block all entrances. The fans are not taking the imminent departure of Rúben Amorim well at all. Well, I mean, yeah, I kind of expect that. Listen, one of my good buddies, he is Portuguese. He's a Sporting fan. He was rightfully pissed all day yesterday. I was taunting him a little bit. I was sending him, photoshopped pictures of Amorim in United stuff. He's trying to tell me he's not leaving in the middle of the season, and I'm trying to tell him, dude, it's already basically done. I was like, he'll be at Manchester United by the end of the week. He was very, very frustrated, very, very upset. Rightfully so, because I think, he is a very good manager. He ended their drought, a 19-year title drought in the first season. He's been very, very good for them. He's won the multiple trophies. He's won the league twice at least. They've done very, very well at him. And that era for them is coming to an end because he's moving on. And I don't think he can really believe it at this point in time. So, I think that, that kind of running joke is real, of course. Richard saying, yes, Sporting have officially confirmed that Manchester United are in the talks with the Rúben Amorim. Well, they've put out the whole thing. The Sporting fans are not taking the imminent departure of Rúben Amorim well at all. I mean, they're gonna go absolutely nuts. They are very passionate people about their club. I probably expect to see something happen, in the game, that he has to go manage. So this is coming from Jay Burt Telegraph, saying sources have claimed that Van Nistelrooy is uncomfortable with the notion that he was brought in under the basis to replace Erik ten Hag. It has even It has even been suggested he expects to leave once a new head coach is employed. Well, I think very much so he should probably leave, because you need Amorim needs to have his own people. I mean, he has to bring his own assistant managers. You know, Ruben was brought for Eric Ten Hag. Eric Ten Hag was in agreement with the hierarchy to bring in Rúben Amorim. I mean, not Rúben Amorim, to bring in Rúben. So you know, he probably has to leave anyway. And I don't know why Rude is so uncomfortable with that. Like, I mean, Rude, you can't let that shit bother you, buddy. You know, it is just bullshit talk. I don't even know how many people are basically saying that, you know, that the notion that he was brought in under the basis to replace Eric Ten Hag. Like, he obviously wasn't. That wasn't the plan. That wasn't his intentions. Like, you know, I don't know who's putting that out, but I don't know why he would be so bothered by it anyway. Rúben Amorim will be Manchester United's second youngest manager in history at age 39, following Wilf McGuinness, who took charge at 31 years old in 1969. Richard, were you there for that? Did you see that, man? Wilf McGuinness. He was 31 years old, youngest Manchester United manager in the club's history. I know I'm not gonna pretend, because I don't know everything about Manchester United's history. I know a lot. I don't know everything though. You know, how did that go? If you know anything about it, give us some insight. Give us some insight. Anmol Podell is here saying, will he be in the Leicester game? No, he will not be at the Leicester game. The Leicester game is tomorrow. It's not finalized in that way yet. But there is a hope, Anmol, that he will be here for the Chelsea match. It's not 100% confirmed. He may not make it for the Chelsea match, but there is a hope that everything can be actually finalized and ready to go. And therefore he will be able to take over for Chelsea. But certain things still have to be remained. You know, the actual paperwork and stuff has to actually still be signed. You got to do the pictures, the presentation, and all that stuff, the official club announcement, and all that BS that comes behind the scenes. But the deal is done in essence. It's been agreed by both clubs. Rúben Amorim has to manage a match tonight for Sporting. They have a match in, you know, the next couple hours. He's going to manage that match. He's going to say his goodbyes to, you know, his players, the Sporting fans. The Sporting fans are going to try and block, you know, the airport. They don't want him to leave. They are very, very upset. They are very, very distraught that, you know, probably one of their best managers in their history is leaving literally, you know, right after this match and leaving mid-season. So they are not very happy. They are very upset. But you were there for Wilf McGuinness. How did that go, Richard? Because that was the first time I've ever heard that name. I don't know everything about Manchester United's history, but you know, you were there. So you know, forget the Wikipedia. We could get a little bit of, you know, firsthand from you on Wilf McGuinness. Richard Hawking saying Matt Busby had to come out of retirement and take over. Jesus. Wolf was a loyal servant who was injured in the Munich disaster. Was he really? He never really could compete with Sir Matt Successful. Yeah, I'm sure that's a hard thing to follow. You know what I mean? You know, being Sir Matt and you're following up in his shadow. Obviously it's always going to be tough. You know, that's kind of similar to Sir Alex. And then David Moyes. Like, David Moyes was never going to be able to make it today. So, yeah. Yeah, but the fact that he had to come out of retirement and take over, I mean, geez. Lions saying, looks like I'll be watching the Sporting game tonight. Well, you read my mind, Lions, because I wasn't going to watch it. I didn't really have an interest in watching it because I don't really watch too much Portuguese. Sometimes I watch the big games, you know what I mean? And obviously, all my friends are Portuguese. 3 of my friends are Portuguese. Porto, Benfica, Sporting. They're each a fan of one. I don't know how they're actually friends with each other. It makes for a very interesting, a lot of conversations, a lot of fighting, a lot of debate. But you know, I've been friends with them for over 15 years. I think I'm very much more familiar with a lot of Portuguese football and players and managers and the clubs Benfica, Porto and Sporting than probably the average football fan that isn't Portuguese or that watches the Portuguese league. So I do tell. On Maul is saying I got to tell every time something came from Sporting FC, it was a missile. Well, yes, we have a very good history with Sporting in terms of, you know, when we've gotten people from them. Obviously it's always been players and it hasn't ever been a manager. But you know, the likes of obviously Cristiano Ronaldo, Nani, and you know, even Marcus Rojo and Bruno Fernandes, of course. So you know, Marcus Rojo probably the bottom of that list, but he still wasn't like, you know, I don't think he was ever considered like one of our worst signings. He was pretty good at times. He was average at other times. So we have a very good history with Sporting. We have a very good record. So I'm hoping that this really turns into something very, very positive. Because I think he's bringing a modern style of play. He's bringing a new way to Manchester United. And I think, and I hope, and this is what I'm saying. I think where Erik ten Hag messed up is he didn't bring that Ajax style, that philosophy. He didn't bring it to United. He had to bring it to United because we needed that instilled in the club. We haven't had an identity for quite some time. So yeah, but I you know, this young guy, I think he's gonna go. Where did we get Bebe from again? It was from it wasn't from one of those three teams. It was from one of the it was from one of the other smaller Portuguese teams. I forgot the name. It's on the top of my, it's on the top of my head, but I can't remember right now. But it wasn't from one of them three. It was from a smaller team in Portugal. And that was a crazy signing. But yeah. So let me get to the rest of this news real quick, because there's so much stuff that's coming out we could hardly keep up at this very moment. The running, yeah, we did that. Okay, running joke, we get it. It has been suggested that Ruud van Nistelrooy expects to leave Manchester United once a new head coach is employed. So it looks like Ruud van Nistelrooy, you know, for the people that wanted the dream of Van Nistelrooy to be the manager or whatever, it looks like it's only going to be for about 1 to 2 matches. And I'm kind of going to miss seeing Ruud on the sideline, because I actually like Ruud in a way. I think he conducts himself in a you know, good manner, authoritative manner. And we're only going to see him, you know, really be in charge for about 1 to 2 matches, because he is going to leave. But I think it is the correct move anyway, whether he wants it or Ineos is pushing it or whatever it is. You know, him and Hake, they pretty much both gotta go, you know what I mean? Because they were brought in to work with Erik ten Hag. They are, you know, and Erik ten Hag wanted them to come in to help him as well. That he agreed to that staff. You know, we are getting Rúben Amorim. Rúben Amorim needs his own guys. And I don't expect Ineos to make the same mistake that was happening at Manchester United when Richard Arnold and John Murtaugh and co were in charge, where they would bring in a new manager. He's allowed to bring 1 or 2 guys and everybody else has got to stay the same. No, you have to have it set up properly, you know, for the managers. So, you know, whoever Rúben Amorim wants to bring with him, whoever he thinks he needs, whoever he thinks is essential to him and his football, and you know, the way to his success that he's had at Sporting, and he wants to bring them, you know, we've got to get them, we've got to bring them in, whether it's his assistant coach. But I don't think, you know, he might not be able to bring the assistant coach, because apparently the assistant coach or somebody else is going to take his place at Sporting. So I don't really know how that's gonna go. But yeah, it wouldn't be right for Van Nistelrooy and Hackett to kind of become this guy's assistant. You know, they were Ten Hag's assistants. They shouldn't become Rúben Amorim's assistants. It doesn't work like that. It's just not the way. On Maul saying, what would you choose? 1, Man City winning the Prem 5 times in a row. 2, Liverpool winning 20th Prem title. I choose neither. I choose, like Lion said, I choose Villa winning it. I choose Villa winning it. I don't want to choose any of that. You know, listen, hopefully, whatever happens, If we could get this project right, we'll be back in and around that area, and we could start having an impact again on these things. We could start, if we don't at least win it, we can at least knock some teams out of it, deter them from winning. We got to get back there. We got to get back there. So, I'm getting more to this breaking news. Fabrizio Romano saying that people at Manchester United, including Omar Barada, Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox, etc., all consider Rúben Amorim as one of the most talented coaches around Europe and the world, if not the most talented. And I think they are pretty accurate in that statement. He is, listen, what he's done at Sporting, I don't care if it's the Portuguese league and it's Sporting. I mean, the way he has his system, his style of play, and what he's been able to accomplish at this young age, he is definitely a top candidate and a top exciting young prospect going forward in terms of the managerial position. And again, Ineos have acted very quickly. I think they've been very sharp. And they've gotten in somebody that I believe absolutely fits their project 100%. I think he ticks so many boxes for this project and what they are trying to do. So I am very, very happy. The other person that I would have been okay with, and I thought ticked a lot of boxes, was Julian Nagelsmann. Obviously, I think Julian Nagelsmann was a lot harder to do. But clearly, Ineos have done their due diligence, while they had a couple meetings on the international break. And they were aware, and this is why you have to do these things. It was clear through talks that they would be able to kind of get this deal done. They probably made a phone call to Nagelsmann before they went through here to see, what that would be about. And obviously it was going to be like pulling teeth. And they didn't want to waste any time, so they went with him. And I think those were two very, very good candidates that fit their project. Very, very good. Sani is in here, and Sani, I think you're going to be very, very happy. Good evening, bro. We are going to sign the coach. Is it true or with just rumors? No, it's pretty much done, Sani. It's done. He will be our new manager. It hasn't been announced by Manchester United, the official. If you want to wait for that, then you can. But it's done. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed it all the top tier. It's done. It's done. He is our new manager. It is pretty much confirmed, and we will see him at Manchester United, in the next few days. I based off of the reporting, he could be in charge for Chelsea right now. So Miguel Delaney 7 minutes ago putting out negotiations are ongoing over Rúben Amorim's coaching staff at Manchester United, and this is what I was talking about. Very, very important, and Ineos are doing the absolute correct thing. Ruud van Nistelrooy, Hake, etc., whoever was brought in to work with Erik ten Hag, they need to go. As much as I love Ruud van Nistelrooy, absolute legend to the club, one of my favorite strikers to ever play for Manchester United. He was a fantastic striker, and I think, even as assistant coach, I think he's done a good job. I like the way he conducts himself. I like the way he carries himself. The proper way, and the way that Manchester United has never done it when we've sacked the manager, is these guys have to now go. Ruud has to go. Hake has to go. We got to bring in Rúben Amorim's staff. If it's going to be successful, if it's going to work, Rúben Amorim's staff got to come with him. And whoever he deems that he needs to succeed, whoever he believes has been an influential and good part to his success at Sporting and what he's done there, they got to come with him. It appears that's what's going on right now, because negotiations are ongoing over Rúben Amorim's coaching staff at Manchester United. So absolutely beautiful. Ineos are doing, as good as a job as they could probably be doing right now. I think they made an excellent choice in the candidate that they've gotten. Real quick, smash the like button for us if you haven't done so already, because it helps the channel grow. So if you could just hit the like button for me, I greatly appreciate it. We have more news to cover, so we're not going anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Lion saying, do you think Ruud will line up a strong team tomorrow, or is he going to give the fringe players some time? It's an interesting question. I don't know. He might field sort of a strong team. I guess it's going to be one of his only matches in charge. I guess he wants to get that 1-0 record, right? Maybe he'll give some of the players on, some of the youth players. I don't think he'll necessarily field the fringe fringe team. I think you want to stay in the cup. Leicester or in the Premier League. It's not like we're playing Notts County or Portsmouth or something. You know what I mean? So I think it will probably be a fairly strong team with maybe some youth on the bench. And if we could, if we perform well and we get, we take a good lead and an early lead, maybe we can throw in some of those players and kind of swap them out and make 5 subs and rotate some players. But, very, very good question lines. It's yet to be seen. We're going to talk about it a little bit towards the end of the show because this was going to be a little bit of a, Leicester preview, a mini Leicester preview, because, Van Roy does have to manage a game tomorrow. But, it's obviously been overtaken by the fact that, we got into here we go for Rúben Amorim. So, but we have this news just keeps coming, so we're just gonna cover it as it comes out, like it's literally just ongoing as I'm speaking. So on Maul is saying 3 years ago the name was Erik ten Hag, today the name is Rúben Amorim. Do you think the things will change? Well, they certainly can change. And listen, I think it's important that 3 years ago, while Erik ten Hag was that of, I think one of the unfortunate things for Erik ten Hag was that he was hired under a hierarchy that was obviously incompetent, out of its depth, and was not functioning properly. And he had 2 seasons under that hierarchy, essentially. And by the time he got to his 3rd season, there was no more rope left at the end for him. And he didn't certainly help himself either. Now, I think the big difference here is that Rúben Amorim, very young, I think he's miles different in terms of personality. Just him as a person is miles different than Erik ten Hag. He plays a totally different style of play. He's a totally different philosophy. He's a totally different person. And he's young, he's exciting, he's full of energy, and stuff like that. He speaks, his English is basically like 100% spot on, so there shouldn't be a breakdown in terms of communication, because apparently that's been reported. There's some old news that we could get into as well, but it can be very different, and it should be different. I think it would be of concern if we see kind of the same thing happen again, especially under this hierarchy, a new hierarchy, and this manager. So I do expect things to be different. How different will it be? Like, when we say, do you think things will change? I think things will change for sure. Does that change means that it's going to lead us to, a Premier League title? It's yet to be seen. We got to see where the project takes us, but we are here for the ride, and sky's the limit at this point, in my opinion. We are working very hard to get things done. So, and try and make us, into that competitive, challenging team. So, Manchester United are currently locked in talks with Sporting Lisbon over Rúben Amorim's notice period, which is a number of weeks. And that is Mike Keegan coming out and saying that. All right. We need a follow-up explanation to what that really means. I guess he's supposed to give a couple of notice weeks, but I'm sure that there's a way that you could kind of get around that, maybe compensate them for that. You could give them an extra couple mil or something like that. Again, this is coming from Mike Keegan. Manchester United are currently locked in talks with Sporting over Rúben Amorim's notice period, which is a number of weeks. Should an agreement not be reached on an earlier termination, there is a prospect that Amorim could not take charge until United face Ipswich on the 24th. So this is a wrench in the... There's a plot twist here. There is a plot twist here. This is coming from Mike Keegan. But the thing is, it says, should an agreement not be reached on an earlier termination. And I think Ineos can get that agreement on an earlier termination. I think they can. And apparently this is there. I mean, Fabrizio said nothing about this. Mike Keegan seems to know something Fabrizio doesn't, which is interesting. Which we're going to keep an eye on that. That's 14 minutes in. So there might be a bit of a plot twist. Maybe he won't be able to be in charge in Chelsea. Maybe he won't be able to come in until... maybe he won't be able to come in until United face Ipswich for the 24th. So We got to see what's going on with that. That's a big plot twist there. Wasn't really expecting that. The board considered. Yeah, we got that. Locked in. There is a prospect that he may not be able to take over until United play Ipswich on the 24th. So maybe Rude will be here for a little bit longer. Maybe some of them have jumped the gun. In terms of reporting. I think Richard, I think we will get the early termination. I do believe that as well. So, yeah, I believe that for sure. You know, I think it's definitely possible to get that. Obviously they're not going to be too happy about it. But I think we can kind of convince them. I think Ineos are pretty convincing. They're very good at negotiating. They've showed that already. Time and time again that they can get things into deals. And they can get their way. You know, so. I'm trying to see if there's any other update following that. And I can't scroll up on the chat because I'll lose this. Hold on, I missed what you guys were saying. We got him from Vitória de Guimarães in Portugal. Yeah, I know a little bit of how you should pronounce the name. Listen, I'm not lying. My friends are 3 Portuguese, man. I've been listening to speak for 15 years. I could put it in that accent. That's pretty much it. I know a couple Portuguese words. Vitória de Guimarães in Portugal. AKA Vitória Sport Club. Yes. Come on. Put a little respect. Like Mourinho says. Respect. I'm telling you, I'm not making up. My friends are Portuguese. I've been listening to speak Portuguese for 15 years. I you know. Yeah. Let me see what's coming out. Rúben Amorim is expected to stay in charge of Sporting for their game against Estrela da Amadora on Friday. This is coming from CNN Portugal. I mean, what the CNN Portugal is reporting on this. I mean, that's how you know it's a big thing. Yes, put respect on my name. Yes. Sources in Portugal believe Rúben Amorim will be announced as Manchester United manager after Sporting games tonight. That is coming from Jamie Jackson. So now I don't really know what's going on. Expectations. This is from the Muppeteers. Is for no. This guy is late on his whole thing. All right, I really gotta unfollow this guy. I'm sorry. I gotta do it. I gotta unfollow. This guy is so late that when he puts out the news, he confuses me because he's saying things from an hour ago and then it's totally different. So yeah. Men, yeah, we got that. Sporting fans and not take. Yeah, we got that. Anthony has already been told he can leave Manchester United in January, and that is coming from Alex Crook, which I pretty much expected that to be, a game. Sources in Portugal, again, this is 11 minutes ago, coming from Jamie Jackson. Sources in Portugal believe Rúben Amorim will be announced officially as Manchester United's manager after Sporting's game tonight. Sporting's president is also expected at the media conference with Amorim. So, everybody, we're going to watch Sporting tonight, and we're gonna go watch the press conference after to see what really goes on. I'm sure it's gonna be a very, very late night. We might have to go a little bit later tonight as well. I didn't really want to do 2 shows, but we might have to do a show in the evening around a couple hours from now, 3-4 hours from now. I mean, we could do a watch along. Maybe we'll set that up. I gotta see what time are they playing at, because I don't even know. We could kind of just do a watch along. But I don't know if I have the time for that really. But let's see. Rúben Amorim is expected to stay in charge. I mean, this is coming from CNN Portugal. Rúben Amorim is just, so there's contrast and conflicting things. Portuguese outlets are saying that he's expected to stay in charge of Sporting for their game against Estrela. which is on Friday. Which obviously would mean that he wouldn't be in charge for Manchester United against Chelsea. But you know, CNN Portugal is saying this. English journalists Jamie Jackson and etc. is saying that he's going to be confirmed tonight. Um, this is coming from Fabrizio Romano's YouTube 9 minutes ago, saying Rúben Amorim is really excited about the possibility of being Manchester United's manager. He has a fantastic legacy at Sporting, and it's not easy to say goodbye during the season, but it took him just a few hours to say yes to United. So United still got that pull, baby. We still got that pull. We still got that aura, even though we haven't been great, but we still got that pull. And isn't that amazing to all the rivals out there? Isn't that amazing? You know, we've been sleeping. We've been sleeping for 11 plus years. Sleeping. We've let you win the league. We've let you challenge. We've let you win this trophy. We let you win that trophy. We let you take our spot in the top 4. And yet, we are still considered a bigger club. And we are still considered, we still have a bigger pull than a lot of you people out there. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? I mean, for all the shit these rivals want to give us, you ain't us. You ain't us. We may be shit, but you still ain't us. And you will never be us. Especially those blue plastic ones. They will definitely never be us. And their moment is coming to them. You know, they act like that is gonna last forever, and it certainly will not. And when the day comes, we will be there for their downfall. 100%, 110%. I'm just looking to see what is the latest updates, because we have they just keep putting out more and more stuff. Yeah, so right now the latest and newest thing, which is coming from CNN Portugal, and somebody named I believe Nathan Salt or something like that, or Nath, I don't know what that is. Yeah, Nathan Salt, which I don't know who Nathan Salt is. A Manchester United correspondent for @Mail Sport. Him and CNN Portugal are reporting that Rúben Amorim is expected to stay in charge of Sporting for the game against Estrela on Friday. That is the latest and most up-to-date thing. And then the only other thing would be, you know, contacts between people from the club and Rúben Amorim's representatives took place during the last international break. He was already at the top of the list at the time, at that time. So he was the top candidate. Alien Tenno is in here. Yeah, biggest club in England, 3rd in the world, Blue Glory fans. Yeah, I mean, let's not even call them fans. I mean, you know, what are they? Front runners? You know, merchants, just glory merchants. That's what they really are. The glory merchants. You know, it's funny because we used to be called glory hunters, right? A lot of United fans used to be called glory hunters, especially I guess the ones that aren't from the UK and from England, and probably especially from Manchester. You know what I mean? And we used to be called glory hunters, but yet still here we are. 11 years later. You know, completely just nothing like we used to be. And we're still here. We still support the club. You know, so, you know, you were wrong then, and you're still wrong. Alien, big up RDE and the chat. Amorim. He's from Sporting like Cristiano. I don't know. I can't sing when it's not. I gotta hear it. You know what I mean? I gotta hear it. And ask City fans about their history. They will look at you with dead eyes. Some of them don't know. Mark Hughes was their manager once upon a time. They don't know their history. They don't know their history. They don't have a history, really. You know, there's some people there. Oh, I think we got something else breaking just in. Yep. So this is from Fabrizio Romano as well. Manchester United arrived really strong to close the deal this week, not next week, to avoid any risks of people at Sporting convincing Rúben Amorim to complete the season at Sporting. This agreement is now done, and he's Man United's new manager. Now, time for documents and formal steps. So Fabrizio is basically coming out saying that this is 110% done. CNN Portugal and stuff like that. And whoever that dude was from the Daily Mail or whatever it was, basically saying that there was a possibility that he could be in charge until Friday. But Fabrizio right now is live on his YouTube, and Fabrizio is basically saying that Manchester United made it really strong to close this deal this week. They wanted it done this week. The deal is done. So I think he will be leaving tonight. After this match, and I think he will. I don't think that I think that thing is already done. You know what I mean? Because he said the agreement is now done. He's Man United's new manager. Now time for documents and formal steps. Documents and formal steps is literally nothing. It's a formality. It's literally signing papers, documents, um sending those documents to the proper places that they need to be sent so they could be, formatted, whatever it is, so it could be officially registered, stuff like that. It's all a formality. So Fabrizio is saying that this is done. This is done. There's no, they already negotiated. They already negotiated and they already agreed on the fact that he is leaving. um you know there is no wait period. It is happening, it's coming. So yeah, how we feeling though? How we feeling? uh I think the fan base is going absolutely crazy. um Absolutely crazy. I'm just checking my time on the all right, we're done good. um I'm just trying to gauge some of the, what's going on in the fan base right now. But the timeline is all sorts of it's all distorted right now, so it's a little bit hard to see. But I kind of wanted to see, somebody put out, they thought we were going, they thought we'll be going in for another bold, and we did not go for another bold. We went for a man with some beautiful hair, and he's got some aura. We did not go for another bold. Maybe bold wasn't best, you know what I mean? Maybe bold wasn't best, I don't know. Certainly wasn't. um uh, so yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to look at anything that's coming out that's breaking right now, because still, um Fabrizio Romano has put this out himself now, pretty much saying that that Manchester United have already started talks with Rúben Amorim about his backroom staff. Sporting and Man United remain in contact to proceed with the formal steps after Manchester United confirmed they will trigger the 10 million euro exit clause from Amorim. That is literally from Fabrizio Romano's account, literally 30 seconds ago. So yeah, I mean, United's management considered Ruben Amorim one of the most talented coaches in the world. Yeah. So a little bit of regurgitation. Fabrizio has also said, in addition to Ruben Amorim's tactical qualities, United wanted someone with enough leadership and energy to withstand the pressure of the position, and I think that is something that we've spoken about quite a lot and in depth. This place is not for everybody. Manchester United is not for everybody. Not any player can just walk in here. Not any manager or coach can just walk into Manchester United. You got to have certain characteristics. You got to have a certain, qualities. You got to have like a certain energy, a certain aura about you when you come here, because it will eat you alive. There is immense pressure. There is, an immense number of eyes and microscopes on you when you are at this club. And if you can't handle yourself in a certain way, it will swallow you up. You will succumb to the pressure. It will eat you alive. This is a monster. We are in a way, we are a monster. we are absolutely massive with hundreds of millions, if not billion, of people around the world, that billions of people that keep their eyes. I mean, we're so big that we had Liverpool fans posting on social media about Eric Ten Hag yesterday. Like, I've never done that. I will never do that. I don't give a shit about no Liverpool manager. I don't care about no, Manchester City manager. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if they fail. I don't care if they lose. Like, I'm not gonna go post it on my account talking about their manager. Like, I don't give a shit. There was multiple people that I know that are Liverpool fans that they posted the same quote, both of them, of that, errors come to the end, and they were laughing at Ten Hag, and I'm like, you care more about that. Like, I wouldn't have even wasted my time to put that up, because you know what's coming. Now we're gonna get a bounce, and now we're gonna get, there's a potential for us to be even better than what we've been. And we can go anywhere with this at this point. So, yeah. There's a sporting fan. CNN is covering this live. Somebody has grabbed the clip. Somebody has grabbed the clip from Portuguese TV, outside of Estadio de Alvalade. I butchered that one. See, some of them are harder to pronounce than others, but there's a sporting fan right now. He is literally crying. He is, I would say, he is old. He got gray hair. He's got the wrinkles. He's old. He's an old sporting fan. The man is literally crying outside of the stadium right now, after the news that Rúben Amorim is leaving for Manchester United. He is literally in tears. So I feel for him. But just what it means that, and the Benfica fans are gonna use him to make fun of Sporting, which is, unfortunate. But it's just what this guy means to their club. Like, what he's done for them has been absolutely enormous. Like, I don't care if it is the Portuguese league. He ended a 19-year league title drought. 19 years. I mean, we're close to that. We're at 11, going on 12. So, again, he is very much loved and adored by Sporting. He has been one of their best coaches, if not the best coach. And I think it's a good time for us, because I think we're getting. And then, some of our fans with the bigger accounts are going absolutely mental. I mean, there's a guy that said, "Forget bald. My manager is here to take over," and put up a picture of Amorim because he's got hair. So, yeah. I mean, we move on quick, right? It's kind of like a relationship in a way. Like, the only post I did regarding Liverpool was about Klopp leaving. That was a shock for real, but no malice. Just expressed my shock. Well, I mean, yeah, I don't even care. It is what it is. I could throw up some banter if they lose or something, but like, they had to put up that quote. And you know what it is, though? You know what it is, Lyle? That quote pisses me off, because everybody, especially all the rivals, like, I mean, and it's probably partially our fault, and, the fans online, because they took it and ran with it in a certain way. But that quote of errors come to an end, like, it's not a wrong quote. Like, they do come to the end. The Sir Alex era ended. The Klopp era has ended. Klopp is not a manager there. Guardiola's era at City will end when he leaves. One way or another, they end. Like, it's not an incorrect statement that he made. But we ran with it as, like, we compared it to, when Sir Alex said he was going to knock Liverpool off their perch. So we kind of made it a little bit worse than that. And I think a lot of people just read it and they take it like he meant, like, their time is done. But he was merely stating a fact that, like, errors do come to an end. They always come to an end. And this is what I'm kind of saying. Like, these fools at the other clubs, they think that they are going to be running this for the rest of their lives. And they don't see the bigger picture. I guess we have the benefit of the doubt, not the benefit of the doubt, but we have the privilege that, especially for somebody like me, like I've seen it firsthand. I know Richard's been through a lot, so he's seen many different types of periods, and he obviously has, you know, a bigger privilege at that than me. But you know, I was there. I was there. I was one of these guys where I looked at Ferguson and I looked at us and I was like, we are the greatest. I was like, no one's ever gonna stop us. No one can ever take us from where we are. We will be great forever. And you know, I kind of let my imagination run wild. I used to picture United being dominant for the rest of my life till I was, you know, gray and old, and you know, it was hard for me to walk. And obviously I was wrong, and I've seen how it can go. And so I'm well aware of that now. But through that experience, I'm well aware that that's why that I know that yes, we are in a shit period, but this shit period will not it will not last forever. At some point, we will come out of it. And Manchester City being dominant won't last forever, and Liverpool being as good as they've been in the recent years won't last forever, and Arsenal the same, and you know, other clubs this and that. Like it happens. So it does happen. Lion saying he has a question for me. In the Beyond the Promised Land documentary, there's that crazy, funny Irish New York bartender. I was wondering if you knew if that bar was still up and running. I have absolutely no clue, to be honest. I would have to look for you because I've never even seen that documentary. So I don't know what you're talking about, really. But yeah. Let's say another. Don't worry about the questions. It's okay. We're at the back end of the show. We can just do whatever we want. You know what I mean? Alien Tenno saying, when I die and they lay me to rest, I'm gonna go on the piss with Georgie Best. Absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, always and forever. Richard saying 100% watched Sir Matt era come to an end, seen Sir Alex era come to an end, and many in between. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it happens, man. You just gotta go through it at some point, you know. Listen, this person told me this, and it never really hit home to me until they said it to me. But there was somebody that used to be in my life, and they weren't very I wouldn't call them the most truthful person. I think they were, you know, I was very well aware that they were a little bit full of shit. But they said one thing to me that stuck with me, and I think it was the most truthful thing and realist thing that they've probably ever said to come out of their mouth. And they said to me, "Nothing lasts forever. Nothing is permanent. Nothing." That was the exact quote. Nothing is permanent. And they were like, you know, think about it. Think about anything in life, and anything at all. A building, the world itself, the planet, water, you know, think about it. Nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary. Everything is temporary. And you know, when I sit there and I think about it, there's anything in the world that you could think about. You know, you know, some things are more temporary and they end quicker than others, but things do come to an end at some point. You know what I mean? So, some things just take longer than others, but it's all still temporary. At some point, it will cease to exist at one point or another. So, you know, that kind of changed my perspective on life, but it also helps me through this period of what we are in. And, you know, um, Sandy saying, bro, how good is this coach? Does he have a good relationship with players? We don't need a coach who was problem with players. It is going to take where we supposed to be. Well, I mean, his exact track record, I can't really tell you. I think if you look at the Sporting team, I think he should have a good relationship with players, because I think the way Sporting perform, and you know, their aspect of the team, um they are a very unified team. They do play very together. So, you know, I think I you know, I don't think there's been many bust ups. Listen, I'm not a Sporting fan, so I don't know like all the ins and outs. I could ask my buddy, maybe for the later show, I could ask him a little bit about it, because he's a Sporting fan. He should know everything about, you know, what's going on at the club. But You know, I not that I know of, hasn't had any bust ups. I think he's very good in communicating with his players. I think he has good relationship with the players there. The one thing I will say though, and I like that Ineos have done this as well, is there's something to think about. You know, a lot of the players over times, and the ones that have been here through, you know, 2 or 3 managers that are still here, um, they've obviously pretty much, you know, they've sacked managers while they get to stay here. And I think one of the things Ineos has done in getting this manager is he plays very high intensity. He plays very high pressing. He demands a lot. You know, and some people might argue that we can't play in that way, but you know what? We have to play in that way. And I think something that they've done is, listen, Ten Hag didn't work out. It was shit. We get it, but we're not letting you players off the hook that don't want to play in this way, that can't play in this way. We're actually going to get somebody that probably plays even more intensity and more pressing and you know and demands even more than Eric Ten Hag, but in his own way, of course. But the system and the way it plays, we're going to go get him, and you're going to play this football whether you like it or not. And you know, the ones that don't, you're gone in the summer. You know, they didn't do what we've done in the past. In the past, we've gotten one manager that style. They didn't like the style. They didn't like what they wanted from the manager. They got somebody else that was different, and they played like counter attacking and you know whatever it is that they want to play. Um, we haven't done that this time. This time we've gone from somebody like Eric Ten Hag, who it's been reported has been very demanding. He, you know, there's been a report that came out today basically saying that Eric Ten Hag was giving them extra work, extra workloads in training and making them run a lot after we lose a match, which the players didn't like because it felt like it was wearing them out. And maybe so. You know, we're not fighting over that. What we're saying is he was very demanding in what he wanted. And we didn't go and get a manager that plays sort of like a drop back counter attack type of like, you know, we didn't get a manager that doesn't play like high intensity football. We actually went one step up and got somebody that plays even more high intensity to put more pressure on the players. And I think it's a good thing. I think it is a good thing. I was born to be United. I was born to be United. Daddy told me when I was just a baby when I was 5. I went down to Warwick Road. Now I'm addicted. The only place I go. And take me home, United Road, to the place I belong, to Old Trafford to see United. Take me home, United Road. I can't sing. Hated, adored, never ignored. Uh, yep, Stam, yep. Oh, I thought the tune was going to get played. Uh, I can't sing, man. I can't sing. I can't really sing. But I can't sing. Don't. We need auto tune or something. I can't sing that good. I don't think I'm that horrible, but I can't really sing. I don't got that. We leave those to the professionals. A Mail Sport putting out that there is a strong suspicion that a United move for Amorim because Barada has inside knowledge of Manchester City's plans to appoint the sporting coach as Guardiola's replacement. I mean, Omar Barada is he's a spy, man. He's hacking Manchester City's things. We're hijacking them just like how they tried to hijack our history in our club, and trying to pretend like they are us. You know what I mean? Um, well, well, we got their guy in. He's our CEO, and he's stealing all your shit, and he knows exactly what you guys were trying to do. I'm sure they changed some things, but you know, he's probably still got access to an account somewhere. Uh, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Let's see. We could talk about this. Rúben Amorim obviously has now been confirmed as the next United manager and could be here as early as the Chelsea game. Below some simplified notes. This is somebody put this out. So I'll go through it. We'll read over it. Amorim. This is the simplified notes. Just pretty much a breakdown of him, what he's accomplished, how he set himself up, and what things can look like once he actually takes over, as and is in charge as his first time at Manchester United. Um, Amorim has led Sporting to their first title in 19 years. As we discussed, he's broke a 39-year-old record for Sporting with a 22-game unbeaten streak. He led Braga to their first Taça da Liga in 7 years. This was before he was Sporting manager. He defeated Porto in the Portuguese Cup final with Braga within his first 13 games as manager, which is actually a big achievement. He guided Sporting to the UCL round of 16 for only the second time in their history, which is pretty big feat to do that as well, you know, as it being only the second time in history. Obviously, Porto and Benfica are the ones that have been a bit bigger in terms of the UCL winning it. So him able to do that, good accomplishment. He set a record with a 32 game unbeaten streak. He knocked Arsenal out of the UEFA Europa League. He won the league last season and currently top of the league. He competed with a more financially dominant Benfica and Porto, and that he did for sure. Although I might add that Porto isn't. I wouldn't say Porto is the more financially dominant, because Porto are in a bit of mess with money. They used to be more financially dominant, but they all, I would say Porto and Sporting are probably around the same in time of financials. Benfica 110% are more financially dominant, or at least they should be, because they get massive wages. But there's, you know, that's a bar, because they have something separate for that. Rich is gonna leave us. Richard, thank you for stopping by. Probably won't be on tonight. Stuff to do. Stay safe and take care. Yes, thank you, Richard. I appreciate it. Appreciate you stopping by. Yeah, if you can't make it tonight, it is what it is. You've been absolutely fantastic. You've been here for the past 3 shows, you know, at any time we've gone live. So, formation wise, Amorim may start with a back 4, aligning with the current squad profiles before shifting to his preferred 3-4-3 or a 3-4-2-1 formation. His center backs need to be comfortable on the ball and skilled at breaking lines to support the build of play, which we got a couple of those. The left center back should have the flexibility to play wide or as a left back, so maybe Lisandro Martinez when needed. Or you could possibly throw Luke Shaw, but Luke Shaw again has gotten an injury setback, so we should stop mentioning Luke Shaw. He's completely useless. And Licha could fulfill that role. Wing backs, Amorim attacks with 5 players, utilizing wing backs to stretch the pitch. Typically, one wing back is more defensive and technical. Alphonso Davies would be an ideal fit, for an example, as the type of profile of player that fits that. And I do agree with that as well. Yeah, Luke Shaw doesn't exist. He's a figment of our imagination. The DM requires a ball winner like Ugarte, and Ugarte was his player with strong ground coverage. Oh, and by the way, I just want to point this out. You know, it was going to take 3 months to integrate Manuel Ugarte. Yeah? Let's... well, I'm going to tell you right now, he's fully integrated now, because when Amorim takes over, I guarantee you 110% that Manuel Ugarte will be starting the matches, and he will be playing for 90 minutes. You know, he is going to be integrated. He is integrated. Like, it's not going to take 3 months, and you're going to see that. You're going to see, as soon as Amorim comes in and takes over, Manuel Ugarte will start the matches, and he will be playing 90 minutes. You know, this nonsense of it's going to take 3 months to integrate him. Absolute nonsense. So yeah, the 8 in the formation for Rúben Amorim, Mano could fit well. Amorim ideal 8 excels on the ball, creates opportunities, plays direct passes, and supports the attacking 5. The CM should also be able to create overloads in the attack and crash the box. The striker, Højlund, could replicate what Gaioker's role by making runs in the channels, and I think he can, and I think this can be very, very big for Rasmus Højlund as well. I think the system can benefit him very much so. You know, if he can replicate anything like Goyokers has excelled on the Rúben Amorim system, I mean, Rasmus Højlund, we could be seeing goals galore for this kid. And I think he has the qualities and the attributes and the abilities to really excel in that role as well. I think it could be very, very big. the Shadow Striker is a dual striker system with Xerxes and Hoyland, where Hoyland runs the channels and Xerxes operates as a Shadow Striker. That's also a possibility. And then they are considered right forward or left forward. Where Amorim uses a narrow front three, Rashford could slot in as a left forward between the right back, right centre back, and Ahmad is a right forward between the left back and the left centre back. Garnacho's adaptability in this role will be interesting to observe. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little bit strange, um, but I'm kind of looking at it here. Yeah, I think it is. It's going to certainly be interesting. Lenny Yoro joined us in the summer, got hurt during preseason, went through rehab, and recovered all before Luke Shaw. Yeah, I mean, Luke Shaw is a lost cause. The fact that he's gotten a setback, it is absolute lost cause. Absolute lost cause. With Luke Shaw, I don't, I don't even want to talk about him anymore either, because I just don't know how you suffer a setback. Again, he hasn't even played, man. But listen, we're gonna end the show now. If you smash the like button for us, thank you. We greatly appreciate it. We're gonna end this show. We're gonna have to wait and see if we go live. I'll try and give you guys, it might be a little bit late. We have a match to cover tomorrow as well. We didn't really do a Leicester preview, but there wasn't any news about Leicester. I have no clue, what Rude's actually gonna do. This got completely overshadowed and overtaken, in my opinion, by the fact that Fabrizio Romano basically announced that we have signed Rúben Amorim as our manager. So, I don't, all the focus is, nobody cares about the Leicester match tomorrow, really. Like, everybody is talking about how Amorim is going to line up, and how it's going to look under him. Like, nobody's even gives a rat's ass about what Rude's going to do tomorrow. Obviously, I want to win, though, and I hope Rude gets a win, but there's really, there's not even, a hint of news of, how he may line up, what he's thinking of doing, so... I guess we could kind of bin that. Obviously, Sporting. Let me try and get this on the thing though, because Sporting are playing. So if you want to watch kind of Rúben Amorim in his element, Sporting are going to play. I believe it would probably be in the next hour and a half or so, but I can get you the actual time once I pull it up. Sporting. Oh, the clocks changed. That's right. That's also right. I forgot that you guys already changed the clocks, and so actually our time difference is well, if you're in the UK, our time difference is 4 hours instead of 5, and some places in Europe it's 5 instead of 6. I totally forgot about that. So Sporting is actually playing at 4:15 p.m. my time, which is Eastern Standard Time, which means that the game won't be over till, I don't know, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it would be a very, very late one. UK time. UK time, that would be UK time right now. You guys moved the clock back, right? Right? You guys moved that clock back already in the UK? Because that would mean that what are we? 4-hour difference. If you move the clock back, it's a 4-hour difference. So if it's at 4:15, that means it's at 8:15 your time. Yeah, you guys moved it back. We did not do that yet. We always wait a week. I mean, I don't know. We're backwards. We're backwards with everything we do. Yeah, so that means that the match for you guys UK time is at 8:15 p.m. 8:15 p.m. Yeah, yeah. If you don't know what happened, it definitely will confuse the shit out of you. I actually didn't even realize it happened until yesterday, but it slipped my mind until now, because I've seen it at 4:15 and I know the match should be at 3:15. So yeah, so that would be very late. So you know what? Unless we come out and confirm, we probably won't go live later on. So I'm not expecting to, but there might be surprises. So just keep an eye out, keep a lookout. I'll try and schedule it ahead of time so you get a little bit of a notification. But yeah, we could probably just watch the Sporting match. I got some things I got to do, so I don't think I could really do a watch along. for that period of time. Um, but yeah, other than that, yeah, is what it is. I woke up at 6:30 and was wide awake. Yeah, I hate that. I'm gonna have to go through it in a little bit too. I hate moving of the clocks. We should just stop doing it. Should just stop doing it. It used to be for the farmers. I don't know how many farmers are out there in the world. The world used to be predominantly farming. The world is not predominantly farming anymore. We should kind of just stop doing it. um but yeah, good show, guys. Thank you very much. And we'll speak very, very soon. If we don't end up going live tomorrow, if we don't go end up going live later today, we obviously will be here for the Red Devil recap after the Leicester match, and we will talk about that. So, we'll speak very, very soon. Did you see the team Sporting is playing? Their badge is awfully familiar. Yeah, it looks exactly like. I'm gonna tell you something. That badge, they just changed that badge. That badge was not always like that, but it looks exactly like Manchester United badge. It is very, very similar in certain ways. Super, super interesting. Super, super interesting. Yeah, I didn't even really pay attention to that, but good point. Listen, so yeah, if we don't end up going live later, because it's gonna be like kind of a last minute decision for me. If we don't end up going live later, then obviously we will be live tomorrow for the Red Devil recap after the Leicester City match. So, until then, take care, guys. Ray joining us right at the end of the show. How you doing, Ray? We covered the whole thing already. Pretty much saying that we might go live later, we might not. If not, we'll be back here for the Red Devil recap. He joined right at the end of the stream. We're literally right about to end it, so it's all right. It's okay. Just hit the like button, right, and then we're all good. And then you could rewatch it, which is fine. But yeah, basically, the manager is in, he's ready to go. Basically, he's coaching his what's supposed to be his last match today, at 4:15 Eastern Standard Time, which is 8:15 UK time, PM. So if you want to watch, you could watch Sporting. I'm gonna go watch it because you got to start analyzing the new manager now. But yeah, we will see. We will see what comes out of it. And we may go live a little bit later. Maybe we'll do kind of a sort of a lately one. Because if he finishes that match and they fully announce that he is the manager, I think we probably have to go live for that. Yeah, it's all right, it's fine. So yeah, but I'm gonna get out of here because I got things to do. I gotta go take care of things. And Manchester United has been absolutely just sucking up all my time with this absolute craziness. So I'm gonna go take care of some things. If I have some time later, maybe we'll be able to go live. If it's a good thing or not. I'll decide. I'll try and let you guys know ahead of time, and then um yeah, that's about it. So you guys take care, be good. We'll catch you on the next one. Thank you to everybody that smashed the like button. Ray said that he's had a good day at work. Absolutely. And don't worry, we'll be here talking and speaking again soon. If not later, tomorrow for sure. So let's go. I think Rude's gonna get the win. I think Rude is gonna get the win somehow, one way or another. I don't know what scoreline. I think we're gonna get some goals out of Rude. I think we'll score 3. Just because Rude's in charge. That's what I'm gonna say. So but we will speak later. I'll catch you guys later.